So this came in the mail the other day. This is an Amazon package, obviously, but what's inside is more interesting. This is a fishing kit. More specifically, this is the cheapest fishing kit that I could find on Amazon. I paid $6.41 for this kit. So we're gonna unbox this kit, take a look at the fishing lures, and then I'm gonna take these out and fish with them for a full day to see if I can catch fish with them. Why, you may ask? Okay, so first of all, let's take a look and see what comes in this fishing kit. Here we go. Okay, so the first thing we got is this piece of plastic right here. I honestly have no idea what this is. I think it's supposed to be a bullet weight, except it's made out of plastic, which doesn't make a lot of sense. I initially thought it was a bobber, but it's definitely not a... Maybe it is a bobber. I have no idea. Mystery item. I don't know what this is. I'll have to see. Next up in the kit, we have these soft plastics. Whoa. I just dropped that bait into the creek. No joke. Thankfully, there's two of them. So this is the bait right here. As you can see, it is a little soft plastic grub. It honestly doesn't look terrible. It feels okay. The plastic on these cheaper lures definitely feels kind of stiff and not high quality, but again, this is a very cheap kit. This kit also comes with some flies, which is interesting. There's one of the flies right there, just a classic dry fly. We also get some terminal tackle. We get one jig head right here, as you can see. And honestly, this jig head doesn't feel too bad. It actually feels fairly decent. We also get two snap swivels right there. We get three of these little curly tail grubs right here in this color. These honestly don't feel as bad as I initially thought they were gonna feel. They're not premium plastic by any means, but I think they probably will have some sort of an action, so that's good. We get two of these little guys right here. These are actually somewhat interesting. They're just these tiny little worms, and these are somewhat limber, so they might have a little bit of action in the water. This could potentially be an interesting bait if I paired it with a very small jig head. We have a little soft plastic frog thing, as you can see right there. I am not a fan of these at all, so this is awesome. Again, feels kind of cheap and stiff. The plastic's not premium on these. We get two spoons in the kit. We get this one right here, as you can see. Not a bad feeling spoon. It has a little bit of weight to it, which is surprising. I have used some of these spoons in the past, and they're usually very light, but this one actually has a little bit of weight to it. So this might actually turn out to be a decent bait right there. And then we also have a tiny spoon right here. This little micro spoon, as you can see right there. Single hook, very small and petite, and honestly, has some weight to it too. Doesn't feel too bad. So the spoons so far are the best feeling baits out of the whole kit. Last but not least, we have one crankbait. So here's the crankbait right here. I have to say, upon first inspection, this bait feels very cheap, but you never know. It might have really good action in the water. I have no idea. The hooks on this bait are actually shockingly sharp. They're actually not bad. It's a very natural kind of sunfish looking color. So, you know, this might not be too bad. So that's what comes in this cheap fishing kit. There are a couple of baits in here that I think I can catch fish with. Some of the microplastics I think I can catch fish with. And the spoons actually feel really good. Better than I was expecting. I'm oddly excited about taking this kit out and seeing what I can do with it. So without further ado, let's go fishing. Alright guys, it is a new day. It is mid-morning right now, and I am out here at the river, and I'm gonna be fishing with nothing but this little fishing kit for most of the day. So I'm excited to see what we can do with this. I'm also a little nervous just because this is all I have, and if these lures don't work, I'm gonna be wasting all my time up here. As far as the conditions go, it's gonna be a hot day today, in the 90s, I believe. I'm gonna be wading in the river, but I'm not even gonna wear waders today just because it's that warm. The river behind me is actually running a little bit high. I think it's running like 1.5 feet higher than usual, and the water is a little bit stained. The first lure I'm gonna tie on this morning is gonna be this crankbait. Let's see what we can do, guys. This is usually a good spot right up here in this corner. There's a deep hole, and hopefully this little crankbait will do the job. Yeah, this bait definitely has some stress. The crankbait's having some stress here. It tracks pretty straight, but if it hits a little rock or something, it like pinwheels out of control. Not impressed. It's starting to pinwheel now. It's not tracking straight. It's pinwheeling all over the place. Yeah, look at this. It won't even run now. So I fished with this crankbait for a little bit, and honestly, I'm not super impressed. The action is pretty mid at best, and you can't really fish this bait at high speeds or else it'll just start to pinwheel. However, I do think I can catch a fish on it, but for now, I'm gonna switch up to something else. I think I'm gonna switch up to one of these spoons here. I'm gonna switch up to this spoon real quick and see how it fishes. That spoon doesn't look too bad. I think this spoon is gonna do a lot better. I can cast it farther. Oh, somebody's already over in my spot. Someone's fishing over there. No. So this is gonna be a little bit more challenging than I initially thought. The bite doesn't seem to be super good right now. I haven't gotten really any bites. On the crankbait, I got one little bite on the spoon, but that was it. I'm gonna try one of these little curly tail grubs. We'll throw that in here, fish it slow down on the bottom, see if we can't get a bite with that. We'll give this a shot and see what happens. It might be what the fish are looking for. Like I mentioned, it's getting warm. It's already 80 plus degrees, sun's blazing hot. That's definitely gonna take effect on these fish. So I wasn't really expecting it to be an easy day of fishing, and so far I am correct. There's fish. What the world? I just dropped my bait down there and a smallmouth came out. All right, first fish of the day. Not a big smallmouth, but a little guy on that little curly-tailed grub. That's interesting. This fish is actually downstream from the main kind of current area. That was kind of random. I just saw a little splash. I just dropped my bait over there. He hit it instantly. Okay, we finally caught a smallmouth. That took forever. That little curly-tailed grub does catch fish, which is good. So I just switched up to this tiny little spoon right here. It actually looks pretty good in the water. It definitely has a better action than the bigger spoon. I'm gonna go ahead and fish my way all the way across the river. Then I'm gonna come back up and fish that fast water up by the dam with this spoon. Ooh, right here. Had a little pike follow it in, or a muskie. I'm not sure what that was. It was pretty small, whatever it was. Here we go. All right, on the little spoon, we did it. All right, we caught another fish. There you go. On the micro spoon. It is very warm out here, to say the least. I am roasting. Got him. Oh, feels pretty good. I don't know what this is. Did I snag something? I might have snagged something. Okay, hey, listen. You're cool, bro. I'm not gonna hurt you. I promise. I'm not doing a carp catch and cook, I promise. I will let you go. I thought I had like a 5-pound smallmouth on for a second. Unfortunately, no. Calm down. I got him right in the dorsal fin too, that's funny. There you go. You are free. There we go. That was fast. The bait hit the water and something hit it. Yeah. Ooh, little largo. On the spoon, guys. Another one. This little spoon's becoming our MVP. Oh, we got a fish, boys. That was fast. Little rock bass. Came right up and munched. So one of the major flaws with this kit already is that it only comes with one jig head. I just lost my jig head and one of these grubs in the river. Thankfully, I brought more jig heads with me, but if I didn't have any extra jig heads, I would kind of be up a creek because, like I said, this kit only comes with one. I tell you what, GoPro head mounts are not flattering at all, but if we get the shot, that's all that matters. So far, the fishing today has been a bit of a grind. We did catch a couple of fish, a couple bass, and then some panfish. So the day hasn't been a total bust, but it has definitely been difficult. I took a little break, I'm eating lunch, and I'm actually gonna go to another fishing location. It's a secret spot where I know about on this same river system. It's right where a tributary flows into the river, so I wanna fish right where that tributary enters the river. There is also some fishing that we could do in the tributary itself. We're gonna hit that spot, fish for a little bit, and then we're gonna head back to the dam in the afternoon to finish up. Let's go. Now, I actually have not done a ton of smallmouth fishing here. Most of the time when I come to this area, I am fishing for trout during the spring with a fly rod. Nevertheless, we're gonna poke around down here and hopefully we can find some fish. All right, so here is the tributary. I'm gonna follow it downstream to where it joins up with the main river. It's a nice deep hole right in here. Well, that was a total fail. That spot was not very good at all. There was some deep water there, but there was no fish hanging out. So I abandoned that spot and came back here to the dam. I'm gonna fish this side now. I've been fishing the far side most of the morning. Now I'm gonna fish this side. There's a nice deep hole in here similar to the other side. Let's see what we can do. I'm gonna start off fishing one of those tiny little red worms on a tiny little jig head just to see if anything will bite. There we go. Nice bluegill. There we go. Hey, sunfish. I don't know what it is. Let's see. Oh, little bluegill. Oh, okay. Was a bluegill. One aspect of this fishing challenge that I did not anticipate is how painful it is to only use these hyper cheap lures all day. I mean, I have boxes of some of the best fishing lures on planet Earth, and every time I open the back of my card to get my stuff out, I see these beautiful boxes brimming with some of my favorite baits, and I'm stuck using this little kit. This is a lot cooler. I am down to my last grub out of that kit, so hopefully we don't lose this thing, because so far, this and the little spoon are the only thing that are catching fish right now. We're hooked up here. Ooh, yeah. Nice smallmouth. Best one of the day. That's what we're looking for. My GoPro died just as this fish bit. I'm gonna go ahead and walk him over here so we can take a look at him. All right, guys, finally caught a decent smallmouth after grinding for hours. Caught it on that little grub right there that came out of the cheap fishing kit. Of course, my GoPro died right at the moment when this fish hit, but nevertheless, I still got some footage. Beautiful guy. Maybe it's a good sign. Let's put him back. All right, I went ahead and tied this crankbait back on, and I'm just gonna go up to the dam and fish the real fast water, cover the whole dam, and try to get something with this crankbait. I haven't done that yet, so we'll give it a shot. I'm not wild about this crankbait, but hopefully we can catch something. At this point, I'm just trying anything that works. There we go. On the crankbait. Feels pretty good. Yeah. Nice smallmouth. We finally caught something on this piece of junk crankbait. Nice smallmouth right there. All right, guys, we achieved our goal for today. We caught a decent smallmouth bass using one of the baits inside this $6 cheap Amazon fishing kit. I'm not gonna lie, that was a fairly torturous fishing experience, and I was forced to only use these cheap little baits in this kit. It wasn't the funnest day of fishing, but it was fun catching those decent smallmouth. That definitely was a highlight. Now, when I first bought this kit on Amazon, I was not optimistic at all. After I unboxed it, I was slightly more optimistic. I said, okay, this kit might turn out to be okay if the baits actually perform. Once I started using these baits though, that optimism plummeted down the toilet, because most of the lures in here are not great. My least favorite lure by far is this crankbait. Even though I did catch the biggest fish of the day on this thing is not great. The action is mid at best, and this thing is very sensitive to speed, so if you fish it too fast, it'll actually start to pinwheel and not dive at all. So you have to fish it so you have to have the speed just right when you're reeling to get any kind of action out of this bait. I was able to catch a number of bluegill on this tiny little plastic worm. I just paired it with a really small jig head, so that did work okay. I expected it kind of to work okay. The curly-tailed grub did okay. I was able to catch that one nice bass on it, as well as a smaller one. But I have to say my favorite bait out of this whole kit has to be this tiny little spoon right here. The action is actually not bad on this thing, and it has a little bit of heft to it, so you can cast it fairly far, especially on an ultralight rod. And this bait did catch us some fish, so this is by far the best lure out of this box. Honestly, just take your $6, buy a pack of Mr. Twisters and a pack of jig heads, and you'll have better results than this thing, in my opinion. So guys, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I had a ton of fun making it, even though it was a rather brutal day of fishing. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know down in the comments below. And as always, this is Brendan Miller. Stay hooked. I'll see you later.